Hello, welcome to our industrial maintenance video series. My name is Mario Bringetto. I'm an industrial maintenance instructor at College of the Sequoias in Hanford, California. In this video, I will walk you through the steps on how to perform a 4-bend saddle correctly, and later I'll demonstrate the process. For the first step in completing our 4-bend saddle, you'll have to select the appropriate bender for the size of the conduit. For the second step of bending the 4-bend saddle, you'll have to take the measurement to the obstruction from a known reference point. The third step of our process of bending the 4-bend saddle is to measure the height of the obstruction. The fourth step is to measure the length of the obstruction. We need this measurement to make sure that the bends do not hit the obstruction. For our fifth step, we begin the math portion of our 4-bend saddle. If you do not feel comfortable with it, you can review back to the offset bending video in which all of that math was covered. The difference between a 4-bend saddle and an offset is simply that there are two offsets make up a 4-bend saddle that face each other. The only difference is we need to add the distance from A to C between the two marks, which is the length of the obstruction. So moving on to the demonstration portion, what we need to do first is verify our measurements. So you're 24 to the obstruction, 2.5 inches in height, at 8 inches in length. Applying the math from the previous photographs, we can start to lay out our conduit. The first mark is going to be at 24 5/8. That's the A mark. B is going to be at 19 5/8. Adding the length of the obstruction, this will get you C, which is up here, at 32 5/8. And finally D, which is going to be over here, is going to be at 37 5/8. As we've done before, if it's not going to be in an exposed area, you could use a Sharpie, but in an exposed environment, always use a pencil so you can get rid of it. And now that we have our conduit marked, it's time to get ready to bend. So now that we have our conduit marked, we need to verify that with the bender. We're going to be using a 1/2 inch EMT conduit and a 1/2 inch EMT bender. Now, if you could bend an offset, you can bend a 4-bend saddle. It has the same exact principles. It's basically two offsets facing each other. So what we do is we get our A mark onto the arrow, just like when we do an offset, and line it up, and we're getting ready to bend. So now with the conduit lined up on the A mark, we make our little vise, toe in front, knee in back, the marks lined up. Bend it to 30 degrees, lift it up, flip it around, slide it forward. Line up the B mark on the arrow. Make sure you point the conduit straight. Get close to it, toe in front, knee in back. Put some weight on it. Okay. So you got the first offset bent. You flip it around to do the C mark. Notice that the shoe is always facing the obstruction, so that way you make sure you're pointing the right direction. Line it up on the C. Rotate the conduit to make sure it's straight. Toe in front, knee in back. Bend to 30, lift it up, forward. Line it up. Same thing again, last bend. And now it's time to go ahead and test it to see how we did. So now it's time to verify our math and our abilities. What we did was make sure that the conduit is lined up from the known reference point. And we move forward. The A mark lines up over the top of the obstruction. And finally, the C mark lines up on the other side of the obstruction. Lays flat. So I would say that's another successful bend. So that's all we have for you in this video. Check out our next video on how to bend a 3-bend saddle. And thanks for watching.